if you're a published author, you can be creating Christmas bonus content for your audience. Now, this is also applicable to any of the other holidays. It does not have to be Christmas. It's Christmas as I'm filming this, so that's kind of what the overarching theme is, but you can do it for Hanukkah, you can do it for Valentine's Day, you can do it for Easter, you can do this for whenever. This is a really easy, fun, and it actually helps you to do a little bit more research about your characters, opportunity for you to give new content to your fandom. This is all about creating bonus content. And again, I'm going to use the word Christmas, but you can substitute any of those holidays in here. So I want you to create a bonus scene. This is a couple pages long, maybe, of Christmas-based content. Now, if you have a book that leans itself toward Christmas, by all means, just write that. Write your bonus content. I actually used one of my books to write a bonus scene where my dystopian characters found old Christmas decorations in the time in between book 1 and book 2. And I created a bonus scene where they found these things and they were kind of like looking through the past. Do that. But if you don't have that, or if you've got a lot of different books, this is a really fun opportunity to create bonus content based around a Christmas party. I love to treat my characters as if they were actors and they are playing the parts in their book. And when they are not on the pages of the book, they're hanging out. They hang out with each other, even though their books have nothing to do with each other, even though they're different time periods, even though they're not connected at all. In my mind and in my fans' minds, there is crossover. They have those fun moments. And so I'm considering this like an office Christmas party. Bring your characters in and create a scene. And you can do this differently every single Christmas. So if you want to do this every Christmas, you're going to have new characters, new books that you've written, new opportunities for new parties. Treat it as a new office party every single Christmas or whatever holiday you're doing. And so you're going to paint us a picture. You're going to say that your characters are coming into this party. You're going to tell us how the room is decorated that you've created in your mind. You're going to tell us what the food is, who brought what foods to this event. We're going to talk about which groups of people are hanging out with each other. So I've done this before in my own novels. I have a billion novels out. So I've got lots of characters meeting lots of characters. And I have in my mind, if my characters were going to hang out, I know which characters from which books would hang out with which characters from other books. So from my Golden Trilogy, my leading lady Illyria and my leading man Dove would absolutely hang out with my leading lady Jade from the Jaded duology, but they would not be hanging out necessarily with Roan, the leading man from the Jaded duology. I am perfectly well aware that Annika is going to come and join them at some point, as is Hansel from my Hansel and Gretel retelling Sugar-Coated. And so I know who's going to be friends and who's not going to be friends. I know who is going to be a little too bombastic to hang out with someone who's going to be a little more tame. I know who's going to get on each other's nerves. I know who's going to be keeping each other away from the other people. I'm very aware of how my characters would interact if I dropped all of them into a room and said, okay, get to know each other. I know which cliques would form. I know which groups would be created. I know who would be separated from each other. And I use that in my story. So I paint a picture of this really cool Christmas party, whatever it happens to be. And I'll talk about who's decorating the tree or how they're decorating the tree. I'm going to talk about who's hosting. Maybe it's not even me as the author hosting. Maybe one of them is hosting and everybody's going over to that person's house to then have this Christmas party. You can do whatever you want. This is carte blanche for you on this. Treat your characters as if they have associations off the page of your books. Let them be friends. Let them be enemies. Let them be frenemies. Let them have those interactions, and you can create a world of crossover content just as bonuses to give out to people. So once you've created this, and we're just talking a couple of page document. This doesn't have to be anything big or major. It doesn't have to have a through line that's like very clear. Just tell us what's going on. Tell us about this party and kind of make us feel like we're a part of the office party for just a couple of minutes as we're reading it. And then you're going to give it out to your fans. Now, you can do this in a lot of different ways. This can be through your newsletter. By all means, give it out through your newsletter. I used to love to hide them on my social media and my website. So I would allow people to go to my Facebook page and they would go into my chat bot where they could play interactive choose your own adventure games, and they would play through a game to get the bonus scene. At the end of just asking a couple questions where they made some choices, they were gifted a bonus scene or one of my bonus scenes. There could be multiple. I would also hide them on my website. So I would have them somewhere in my website where they would have to go scour my website and find the clickable button to download it, but I wouldn't tell them where it was, which got my website more views, more people were spending time there, it ranked it higher in Google, and then they got the freebie because of it. So I had them do a little bit of work. I like to make fans do a little bit of work, to put a little bit of effort into it, because then it makes that reward so much sweeter. So you can just be like, hey, I got this, and drop a link on your social media. You can say, hey, this is on my newsletter. Get signed up before this day if you want it. You can say, hey, it's hidden on my social media. Go find it. You can say, hey, this is hidden on my website. Go take a look. And you can be giving these out year after year, because most people will A, forget them, and B, be new and not have seen it before. You can even kind of put it on a cycle. So I've been an author for a lot of years now. I can take the things I did in the beginning and bring them back. People are going to remember them 4, 6, 10 years later. So you can go through this in a cycle and use this in a bunch of different ways. And this is just a really fun opportunity for you to let people get to know your characters better, but it also lets you get to know your characters better. Because when you understand which of your characters will connect with another character, that's powerful. You can learn a lot more about their personalities, who they are, what they do, how they interact. When I first started doing this was early in my career. It was my first year as an author. And I only had a handful of books out at that point. So I had a couple of main characters, and it had never occurred to me that certain characters would not like other characters that I've written. And so when I started writing these parties, I kind of saw, oh, okay, so this couple is very protective of other people. They're going to protect this person from somebody who's not treating them well, who they eventually end up with. And you can decide, do you want this to be after the books occur, or while the books occur, or during the middle of the books, or whatever. I typically go with who they are when people meet them inside of the book. So like I said, my jaded duology is enemies to lovers. So they are on opposite sides at first. So when my golden characters were protecting my jaded character from the guy that she would eventually end up with, it's kind of that little bit of hostility, because the way I'm treating it is that this is the version that everybody knows. You don't have to have read everything for it to make sense. Or if you haven't read it yet, it's not going to spoil anything. Yeah, we know it's enemies to lovers. That's how it's marketed. But still, we kind of do this in the beginning stages of who they are as characters, as we are creating content that is available to anybody and not just people who have read through the books already. And so I learned a lot about my couple that was very protective over this other character. And then I learned a lot about some of my snippier characters and how they would kind of form alliances with some of the other annoying characters and what they would do to annoy people during the party. Or I learned, because I did off-page content for my people, to my fans to be reading, I learned a lot about how two characters interacted with each other. So from my Legends Chronicles, I have two characters who are very much enemies to lovers, and they bicker all the time, and they just like to harass each other even when they're together. Like even once they're happily together, they just pick at each other and they like to destroy each other. And so seeing them in a party setting where one behaves one way and the other behaves another way, you can really see the little fights and squabbles that they're going to be having. And that can then be applied to the pages for the rest of the books that you're writing. So this is a really good opportunity for you to grow what you're doing as an author, do some book research and some character development work, learn more things, and then create bonus content that you can use in a lot of different ways to give out as freebies around the holidays, and then repeat and reuse and the holidays keep rolling out. So this is something you could be doing for all the holidays. It's something you can be doing as you are developing your fandom, and it's something that you can actually ask for their input in. So you can say, hey, listen, guys, I'm going to be writing a bonus scene where someone is hosting a holiday party. Who's hosting this year? And let them vote. Let them take authority over this so that they are now tied to it even more. So give them the option of making optional choices that you can then write for them, 2-3 pages, and then give it out during the holiday season. There's so many ways that you can do this and so many more tips that I can give you on this. So if you would like more in-depth knowledge of this, go ahead and let me know down below, and let me know what other help you need inside of the publishing industry. I'm dropping videos every single day helping you navigate the world of publishing, from your writing to your publishing to your marketing, to make this your most profitable and most stress-free year ever. So I'll see you in the upcoming episodes getting those questions answered.